Hi guys, Adam here. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys one of the most versatile teams for a team start in Blood Bowl 3 that I've covered thus far, and that would be the Skaven. The Skaven have many ways that you can build your roster, and I'm going to show you a couple ways that I like here. A lot of people believe that the Skaven team would not be complete without a Rat Ogre, and you know, I kind of agree with them. The Rat Ogre is a super powerful character when it comes to its abilities in Blood Bowl 3, and I'm going to get to that towards the end of the video after I show you a few rosters that I like. First roster would be 1 Rat Ogre, 2 Blitzers, 2 Gutter Runners, a Thrower, and 5 Linemen. That brings your player roster exactly 11 players, and look at all this cash that we have left over. So what we can do here is add 3 rerolls. Skaven are absolutely great at scoring, and these 3 rerolls will make that scoring part even easier. And then on top of that, we can even throw in a dedicated fan, bringing us up to 2 dedicated fans, which allows us to make a little extra money. Then we can get some dedicated fans after a win by matching that 2 or higher, or we can just buy some more with our winnings. I think this is a great team start. Another really good way to build a team is we can take out a thrower, we can take out a lineman, we're gonna have to remove a reroll, and we can throw in 2 gutter runners. Gunner runners are a great player. They're almost up there with witch elves in my book, so this is a very good starting position. And with this in mind, you can actually take some of the extra money here and add your dedicated fans, which will allow you to generate more income at the end of your matches. I think this is a solid setup. Still comes with the Rat Ogre, still comes with a decent amount of rerolls. Obviously 2 is not as many as 3. However, you do get extra dedicated fans and you get extra gutter runners. One of the best players so far in Blood Bowl 3 until they release some of the other races. Now, one thing worth pointing out is Skaven Clan Rat linemen are very squishy players. They don't come with any kind of defensive abilities, so they will die a lot. So if you're interested in having a replacement for them right away, another way you can build this team is here. I'm going to remove everything here and start from scratch for you. Now, this team right here doesn't include the Rat Ogre, so I'm going to warn you ahead of time. But this is one viable way to do it. You can start with 7 linemen, a thrower, 2 gunner runners, 2 blitzers, an apothecary. Like I said, this format of a team start is for those worried about your players dying, which they will do. The Skaven linemen are gonna die on you. That's just how the Skaven are. I mean, even with the Rat Ogre not in the game, because the Rat Ogre in himself is pretty dangerous dude, just for your own players, and we'll get into that as I get through the rosters here. But this will leave you enough money for a few rerolls and even a dedicated fan, or you could take down a reroll and up your dedicated fans and generate a lot of income. And this also allowing you, as I said, to keep an apothecary because you're worried about your players. If you wanted a team with more rerolls, here's a viable option for you here. Let me remove everything. We can start with 6 Skaven Clan Rat linemen, a single thrower, 2 blitzers, 2 gutter runners, giving you 11 players. And now we can pop in a whole bunch of rerolls. So we can get 4 rerolls there and throw in a dedicated fan for our income generation. This is a very high reroll Skaven team, and I actually like this roster, except for the fact it doesn't come with a Rat Ogre. Rat Ogre is kind of controversial with the new rule set. The community is a little divided on whether or not they like the Rat Ogre. I personally do, but this is an option without a Rat Ogre. I personally think if you go this route, you should get a Rat Ogre soon. That way you can get your roster up to 12 because your Skaven linemen are gonna die. There are so many different ways to build this team. As I said at the beginning of the video, this is one of the most versatile teams I've seen for a team start thus far that I've covered. But now let's take a look at the actual players themselves. First, we're gonna start with the Rat Ogre. What makes the Rat Ogre very dangerous to your own players and also adds to the death rate of your own Skaven linemen. They don't come with any kind of a defensive skill. The animal savagery, when you move your Rat Ogre, he has a chance to hit any teammates around him. If he's declaring a blitz on a roll of 1 through 3, so that's 50% of the time, he's gonna backhand one of your own Skaven linemen in the face, and Skaven linemen are very weak in armor value. They have no defensive abilities, and in all likelihood, they're gonna get hurt. So be aware of that. He, of course, comes with the loner skill, and that means he's going to have a harder time rerolling. But what makes the Skaven Rat Ogre particularly interesting is his prehensile tail, which is the bane of elven teams. It pretty much makes it so anybody that tries to dodge out of his movement range gets a -4 on that dodge result. It also applies to jumps and leaps. Making him even more powerful is the frenzy skill, so when you do a block action and you follow up, you can do a block action again. And then, of course, he comes with Mighty Blow, which makes him all the more dangerous. When you build your Rat Ogre, here are some of the skills you should think about first. If you want to build your Rat Ogre as a Blitzer, now keep in mind, if you do so, try to move your linemen away from him before you blitz. Juggernaut is a very good pick. Guard is a core skill for all Rat Ogres, no matter if you're building into a Blitzer or you're just going to build him into somebody that sits there and just whacks the other team on the line of scrimmage. And of course, I've said this in many of my other videos, block is a core skill when there's body-to-body contact. Consider picking up block as soon as you can. Now let's take a look at the other position, and that's Blitzer. For an aggressive style Blitzer, the skills I would consider, since it already comes with block, which is a staple for body-to-body contact players, would be tackle and then mighty blow. Now here you have a decision. You can take guard, which is a fantastic skill. It's a skill that allows your player to offer offensive and defensive assists no matter how many players are marking him. Another good option too would be under the mutation tree, and that would be claws. Claws is a fantastic skill because it'll reduce all players' armor down to 8+. Now let's take a look at the gutter runner. The gunner runners start with the skill dodge, so that's very handy. So there's several ways you can build a gunner runner. If you want a gunner runner that is a scorer, which you of course do, this is how I would build them. Just like any scorer, you need sure feet, you need sprint. After that, you can look at things like catch, or you can go into mutations and pick up extra arms. I mean, it's a little cheaper to get catch, of course. They already have an agility of 2+, but it's nice to have that backup so they can actually handle the ball or catch the ball a little bit better. The mutation extra arms cost 12 skill points, so it costs twice the amount of skill points, but it'll apply the +1 modifier on pickup and catch test, and trying to interfere with the path. Another way you should build one of the gutter runners is as a ball thief. And of course, for a ball thief, what we're gonna need to pick up is wrestle, because it's an agility heavy player as opposed to strength. As you can see, it only has strength 2, but it has an agility on a 2+ roll. So wrestle is a very, very handy skill. Then of course, we're gonna wanna get strip balls, so you can take that ball from them and tackle. After that, you could get one of the core skills for body-to-body contact, that would be block. Another option would be to get dauntless, and dauntless is very good because it's such a low strength character, and oftentimes the opponent's going to be picking the dice, so at least they won't be picking 2 dice, they'll be picking 1 die instead. And with this skill set, the dice are more likely to go in your favor even when the opponent picks the dice for you. Gutter runner is one of those players that you might even consider randoming the first skill in the general. A lot of those skills that I was talking about that you could get for different styles of gutter runners are included, such as dauntless, block, tackle, strip ball, wrestle. You even need a kicker, so getting kick wouldn't be that bad. Pro wouldn't even be that bad because that'll give you that extra reroll. Now let's go back and take a look at the thrower. This thrower actually has an agility of 3+, so it's an average agility thrower, but he comes with the abilities pass and sure hands, which are really good for picking up the ball and passing the ball. So how I would build the thrower is this. First thing I would do is I would protect your thrower and pick up block. Block is a staple. And then you can go down into the mutation tree and look at extra arms, which will give them an extra +1 on a pickup. But of course, every passer should pick up skills from the passing tree, such as accurate, to make passing easier. And of course, leader. I'm a big fan of this skill, leader. I love having rerolls. I love having do-overs. Leader is a great skill for a passer to have since it's in the passing tree and it's a primary skill. Now let's back out and take a look at the line rat. The line rats are the players that are gonna die on you quite often. And because of that, I highly recommend that you take the first skill as random from the general tree and then just build around that. You could get wrestle, you could get block, you can get dirty player, then you can go get sneaky get afterwards and make him your player killer. You could get pro, you could get kick, you could get fend. There's all kinds of neat skills here that'll make them very, very good, and you can just build your skill around that. And seeing that they're so cheap and expendable anyways, if you were to pick up something that was just garbage, just send them off your team and pick up another one. The Skaven linemen aren't really used for anything but screening the enemy players anyways. They're not meant to be aggressive. They're not meant to be tacklers or ball strippers, though you could build them into one. That's why I highly recommend, I'll say it again, randoming your general skill and just building around that. Your main focus for doing damage to the other team are going to be your blitzers and of course your rat ogre on the line of scrimmage. If you guys are finding any of my videos useful, I know it's a little bit of an intimate act to click that subscribe button, but it would mean a lot to me and it'd be a great encouragement for me to continue making these videos and sharing with you guys my passion and hobby of gaming. I work 9 to 5 just like all of you, and I'm also a gamer just like all of you. That little act on your part would mean so much to me, and I'd very, very much appreciate it. Either way, you guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys watching my video, and until the next one, I'll see you guys out on the pitch.